A family facing its worst fears. New tonight on our news live at 7. A man missing for nearly 2 years is found dead. We've got reaction. Doing the work. Government insists it's been picking up the slack for Grand Bahama Port Authority, which it says now owes millions for recent investments. And over on Eleuthera, the glass window bridge coming into focus as officials say the work continues. And then in our news at 7:30, a new passport application protocol took effect today. Applicants waiting in line give their take on the process. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Kendino Knowles. You're looking at sons of the late Robert Bethel Sr., a taxi driver who went missing back in August of 2021. They recently received DNA confirmation that remains found last March belonged to their father. They tell us they waited over a year before taking matters into their own hands and eventually paid for that DNA testing. When asked about how they felt about the handling of their father's case, Ryan Bethel said this.
I think that the police are doing what they can with the resources that they have. Do I think they're doing enough? No. You know, because just several weeks ago, we found the vehicle.
Yes, we found the vehicle.
And we alerted them, and they came and they did their stuff. You know, when our nephew, he found it, and we went out there, we got the insurance paper, my brother got it, and we verified, we called them.
The Bethel brothers also urging police to be a little more sensitive, especially when it comes to how they handle updates or comments when it comes to questions about missing people.
I think that was a little cold to go on TV and make a statement like that, because that, I don't know with the other persons. Well, I spoke to a couple of the other persons, and that wasn't the case for them either. I thought I was in his perfect mind. You know, so I think, you know, they have to be very careful when they make statements like that, because that really bothered us. You know, that upset my mother the most. You know, I mean, that was cold to hear something like that, especially while we're in the midst of going through what we're going through, and then we don't feel like, you know, this is not being taken as serious as it should.
All right, now we've got more from the Bethel family coming up in an exclusive interview with our Marlena Leonard. The story in our news at 7:30. Well, 3 Bahamians and 18 foreign nationals facing a magistrate today in connection with the seizure of $800,000 worth of cocaine. Bimini resident Jonathan Gooding, Lapapito Sands, and Jason Roll appeared before Magistrate Samuel McKinney along with 15 Ecuadorian and 3 Chinese nationals. A joint operation with the DEA and DEU led authorities to intercept a 30-foot vessel off Saunders Beach. Following a search, officers say they found 39 packages of cocaine with a total weight of 100 pounds. Police arrested and charged the occupants of the vessel with drug possession with intent to supply, conspiracy to export drugs, and conspiracy to possess drugs with the intent to supply. They denied the allegations in their arraignment. The Bahamians were each granted $50,000 bail on the condition they wear an ankle bracelet and report to police weekly. On the other hand, the foreigners were remanded and denied bail because they've got no immigration status in the country. The trial is set for August 14th. A 26-year-old man from Bahama Palm Shores, Abaco, is in police custody tonight after he was found with illegal drugs. Reports say officers from the Marsh Harbor Police Station were patrolling Don McKay Boulevard on Sunday night when they stopped a burgundy Honda Accord. The vehicle was searched and officers found marijuana. They did not release the weight and value of the drugs, but they tell us investigations are ongoing. And it seems the Grand Bahama Port Authority owes the government money. The Davis administration says it's looking to collect. Prime Minister Davis telling parliamentarians that an invoice has been sent to the port and government is waiting for a response. Berthany McDermott has the details.
The Davis administration is looking to be reimbursed by the Grand Bahama Port Authority for the millions of dollars in investment on tap for the island secured by the government. Prime Minister Philip Davis made the revelation in Parliament as he wrapped up the 2023-2024 budget debate.
My government has begun to invoice the Port Authority for these reimbursable expenses as calculated by an independent accountancy firm. To date, The Port Authority has not provided reimbursement in connection with any of these invoices.
Section 1 of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement specifies that costs borne by the government for certain activities and services provided are to be reimbursed by the Grand Bahama Port Authority for amounts in excess of customs duties and emergency taxes collected. The Prime Minister stressing that a serious conversation is needed on the way forward with the GBPA.
I'm of the belief that the Grand Bahama Port Authority needs a management and governance change in order to realize real growth and opportunities in Grand Bahama.
The PM says Grand Bahama lost 9% of its GDP last year alone. He also claims over the years the government has been doing the Port Authority's job. This isn't the first time the Prime Minister and other members of government have lashed out at the Port Authority, questioning its usefulness. He says the former Christie administration introduced a bill to monitor the Port Authority, but he says the Minutes administration did nothing.
We even entered into a memorandum of understanding with them. Everything was enforced. Everything was enforced. No teeth? No teeth?
That's because y'all pull the teeth out.
Well, you can see. Stay tuned and watch.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Berthany. We've got much more to get to in a moment, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is back, and he's in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Kaduna. Happy Monday evening, everybody. Another wet day around the islands. It's humid outside. Temperatures in the mid-80s, 85 degrees under cloudy skies. Your winds are out of the southeast at 9 miles per hour, and that's making it feel like 87 degrees on the outside. Temperatures around the islands tonight, it's 84 in Freeport and in Marsh Harbour, Abaco. 85 Allenstown, Bimini, Nicholstown, Andros, Great Harbour Key here in the capital. Over in Governor's Harbour, 84 degrees over there. Central Bahamas, 86 Kemps Bay, Georgetown, Exuma, 85, 84 Northeasttown, Cat Island. Also in Deadman's Key, Coburn Town, San Salvador, 83. And into the southeast Bahamas, more 85s there with Duncantown, Ragged Island, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Electable Bay, and Abrahams Bay reporting 85s. 86 in Matthewtown, Inagua, and neighbors to the southeast, Turks and Caicos Islands. You are 86 at this hour. Satellite view, moisture train continuing across us, persistent troughing in our area, continuing to trigger some showers and thunderstorms. We had some severe thunderstorm warnings issued across portions of the northwest Bahamas. We will continue to see some more showers tonight through tomorrow as this persistent trough stays with us, but some dry air mass to the north is expected moving in the northern islands, so we could see a reduction in some showers and some thunderstorms there. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, the Glass Windows Bridge is assessed for repairs in tonight's Work in Progress segment. Plus,
that would protect basically all of your items in the house, all of your electronics, your dryers, your ACs, your electric stores.
Why this electrician says owning a surge protector is key to protecting your appliances. And Bahamas to the world. The UK High Commissioner says Bahamian exports are up. We'll tell you the numbers when Our News returns.
Make your mornings brighter with Our News This Morning. Live from Margaritaville in downtown Nassau. Starting July 3rd to 7th, the team you already trust helps start your day informed and inspired. Join us from 6:30 a.m. for the latest headlines, riveting stories, and a view of the world that matters to you. Don't forget to set your alarms. Our News This Morning on Channel 212 and the Our News Bahamas Facebook page.
While roadways continue to be a focus for the Ministry of Works, a 130-plus-year-old bridge on Eleuthera that's a vital connection for commuters on that island is being assessed for repairs. Joshua Williams has the details in tonight's Work in Progress segment.
Attention is being placed on the historic glass window bridge in Eleuthera. Works and Utilities Minister Alfred Sayers says consultancy has begun.
The glass window bridge in Eleuthera is in dire need of replacement, and the proposed engineering consultants that we have engaged have undertaken a comprehensive feasibility study followed by detailed engineering design for a new crossing along new alignment.
Sayers sharing the importance these upgrades will have for tourism.
The bridge site is unique. It is important that the selected option for the replacement structures take advantage of the character of the location for the benefit of the people of Eleuthera and of the Bahamas and visiting tourists. The replacement of the existing bridge crossing provides an opportunity, Madam Speaker, to create a potentially world-famous feature. It is known for the rage, and people travel to the Bahamas to witness it.
The minister promises that new work will be done with the residents of Eleuthera in mind.
We had a meeting in Hatchet Bay with the community of Eleuthera and explain the economic opportunity that this design will provide for the people in Eleuthera.
Reporting for Work in Progress for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks a lot for that, Joshua. And with heavy rainfall and thunderstorms affecting much of the country in recent weeks, you may want to consider protecting your appliances and electronics at home from potential surges. With those frequent outages and dips caused by these storms, electrician and owner of Monroe Electrical and Maintenance says surge protectors are important to have.
The best thing that I would suggest is having a hollow surge protector. What that would do is that would protect basically all of your items in the house, all of your electronics, your dryers, your ACs, your electric stoves, all of your delicate items. What happens is when there is lightnings, if there is a dip in power and there's a surge that comes out, that would hit that surge protector first before it hits anything in the house. So that would be the number one thing to do.
Now, last week, Our News visited a home where water flooded that particular environment, causing damage to appliances and sockets. And Monroe sharing what you can do if you're confronted with this kind of situation.
Never recommend a person to touch any electrical items, especially if there's water in the mix. No. First thing I would do is try to cut off the breaker, or if you don't know which breaker it is, call an electrician immediately. After that, I would also check on the outside of your property to make sure that there's some type of proper drainage. If not, we would have to recommend your yard being at a certain height so that it will prevent water from even getting to your house and getting to the high level to your outlets.
All right, well, the first ever Agrarian Awards will be held at Margaritaville on September 16th. It's being launched by the Ministry of Agriculture, Marine Resources and Family Island Affairs. With Alive as one of the show's sponsors, the event promises cash prizes to winning farmers. Agriculture Minister Clay Sweeting.
Through the Agrarian Awards, we will honor these farmers. We will recognize those who are making a difference. We seek to celebrate their contributions to our society and acknowledge the critical role they play in ensuring our food security and economic prosperity. The Agrarian Awards is a testament to the fact that agriculture is not just a job, but a way of life. It is a way of connecting with nature, working with the land, and nurturing our communities.
Now, nominations are set to be open right now. If you know someone, then maybe this is your time to actually give them some kudos. The criteria and submissions can be made through the Agricultural Development Organization website, a-d-o bahamas.org. The deadline, July 31st. The minister says thousands of dollars will be available in prizes, and to see that website again, head over to ournews.bs.
These awards celebrate farmers, they celebrate schools, they celebrate communities and backyard farmers who remain resilient, innovative, and committed to their craft. Awards will be given to a male and female farmer of the year, of whom will be given $10,000 in cash. Youth male and female farmer of the year will be given $5,000 each, as well as a full scholarship to BAMSI. Schools and community farms can also apply and receive prizes such as gift certificates to all.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as investigators probe a fatal accident at a Texas airport. This after a man is sucked into a Delta plane engine. Plus, how Guyana surgeons successfully removed a human tail from a 10-day-old boy. And a top UK diplomat says Bahamian export numbers continue to climb. We'll tell you the year-over-year numbers when our news returns. This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. An airport employee has died after being sucked into a passenger plane engine in Texas. Officials say the worker was ingested into the engine of a Delta plane that was taxiing towards its gate with one engine turned on. An initial investigation shows the incident was unrelated to safety procedures, but it is not yet clear how it happened. The National Transportation Safety Board said it has been in contact with Delta Airlines and was in the information gathering process. A Delta spokesperson said the airline was heartbroken to grieve the loss of an aviation family member. And new evidence of China's spy balloon program, including flights over Japan and Taiwan, has been uncovered by BBC Panorama. Japan has confirmed balloons have flown over its territory and said it's prepared to shoot them down. China has not directly addressed the evidence presented by the BBC. Hundreds of retail workers walked off the job across Spain today in a new round of strikes against fashion giant H&M Group. More than 4,000 Spanish employees are seeking pay rises in line with the higher cost of living and are protesting increased workloads linked to layoffs during the COVID-19 pandemic. Monday's walkout was the third day of strike by H&M Group employees this month. Flagship stores in Madrid have closed, with hundreds of workers gathering in front of the city's largest H&M location to demand better conditions. And drone pilot Jason Igledon captured footage of a humpback whale following a kayaker near Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia. In the footage, the whale was seen following the kayaker in shallow waters near the beachfront, while a swimmer was also briefly seen swimming nearby. A record 5,092 whales were spotted from various points along the New South Wales coast on Sunday as part of an annual census conducted during the migration season. And now to the region, as customs officers at the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw International Airport in St. Kitts and Nevis say a routine cargo check netted 37 small packages of marijuana. They say the drugs were found inside 3 milkshake containers. The suspected contraband was subsequently taken into police custody, and investigations are said to be ongoing. And finally, surgeons at the Georgetown Public Hospital in Guyana performed a rare surgery on a child born with what they referred to as a human tail. The team, which was led by Chief Neurosurgeon Dr. Amanarth Dookie, successfully removed the tail and reconstructed the 10-day-old boy's spinal canal during their surgery on June 18th. According to the GPHC, this procedure will allow the child to develop normally. All right, export of Bahamian goods into Britain is up, according to British High Commissioner Thomas Hartley. In 2021, numbers out of our British High Commission said the existing pool of exports was small, totaling about 5 million British pounds sterling. Hartley says those numbers have actually started to climb since last year.
The British and the Bahamas trade is increasing, and I'm really pleased to see that. It was, I think the figure you said was 5 million last year up to 31st of December. It's now up 20% at 6 million for Bahamian exports, but actually much more exciting is Bahamian export services, which is basically Brits coming on holiday to the Bahamas. That's up 150%. So it's up really, really very, very strong. And actually, in the UK has a big trade deficit with the Bahamas. We owe you loads of money because all the money's flowing this way at the minute. But it still is well below the 2012 peak.
Hartley says that decline can be partially attributed to the British High Commission being closed for 20 years. He says they've been busy helping Bahamian businesses, though, prepare for export and addressing some of the speed bumps that can get in the way for smaller businesses.
Things like the logistics route between the UK and the Bahamas often goes via the US and therefore via mainland Europe because there's not the bulk of trade. And actually, by talking to some companies that are really up for solving that problem, it's how do we create that direct route which really drives down prices. That's one. The other has been trying to implement the UK CARICOM EPA, the trade deal. And what has been absolutely incredible is that the Bahamas has been one of the fastest to implement the the tariff reductions.
Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was June 26th. And then in our news at 7:30, residents react as new passport application changes take effect today. This is the Prime Minister orders a crackdown on work permits. The story when our news continues. Welcome back to our news. It's time now to turn our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was June 26th. Take a look. On this day in Bahamian history, in 1839, William Frederick Haynes Smith was born in England. Haynes was governor of the Bahama Islands from 1895 to 1898. The Haynes Library in Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera, was named in his honor. It's the oldest government complex on the island and opened in 1897. Then on this day in 1932, Dame Marguerite Pindling, the wife of former Prime Minister and father of our nation, Lyndon Pindling, was born in Long Bay Key, South Andros. The Historical Society notes as his wife, she was a very active supporter from the time of their marriage, when he was campaigning to become a member of Parliament, to the time he retired from politics in 1997. On March 21, 2007, she was honored for her contributions by Her Majesty the late Queen Elizabeth II and was named a Dame Commander of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George. She received the honor for community service and her work in charity and politics. On July 8, 2014, she was appointed Governor General of the Bahamas, a position she held until June 28, 2019. Then fast forward to 2017, when then Leader of Opposition Business in the Senate, Fred Mitchell, slammed Bahamar developer and former CEO Sarkis Merlian over his call for the Minnis administration to stop the completion of the sale of Bahamar. Mitchell said at the time the developer was acting like a spoiled sport and said he hoped the government ignored Merlian's request.
This is now spoil sport behavior. If he had the resources to, in fact, complete the development, it would have been done.
And finally, in 2019, a woman died in hospital after a shark attack near Rose Island. According to police reports, the woman was snorkeling in waters near Rose Island shortly after 2 p.m. on the day when sharks attacked her. The woman was transported to shore and taken to hospital, where police said she succumbed. All right, to watch that historical recap again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. Now, Our News' first ever podcast, The Rewind, begins its two-part season finale celebrating everything Bahamian. Co-founder and co-producer of Collage Them, Tyrone Burrows, guest stars on this month's installment.
You know, you do it because you love it. I do it. Right. You know, I'd actually say we did it because we actually love the country. You know, we never did it because, you know, like, oh, one day we hope to be famous or anything like that. We did it because, well, we wanted other persons like after us to know that it can be done, especially coming from a government school. So, this.
I love The Office. Like, I looked at the camera. I love it.
All right, well, you can check out the latest episode and all the other episodes of The Rewind available at the Our News YouTube page. You don't want to miss it. Now, again, to watch that and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. It's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Italia Hall. She's got the latest headlines. Italia?
Yes, Ken, The Rewind, it looks interesting. I can't wait to check it out. It looks really
that zoom in just now made me look away. I had to check and see what it was about, so I'm definitely going to have a look at it.
We got to check it out. Thanks so much, Ken. Well, we are following that new passport application process, and lawmakers reveal a crackdown on work permits. Here are your latest headlines.
New tonight on Our News Live at 7:30. Despite a recent citizenship ruling, it was business as usual at the passport office today. We've got reaction. Also, how government is clamping down on work permit renewals at the Department of Immigration. Plus, stranger danger. What do you do if an unknown person comes knocking at your door in the wee hours of the morning? The police has the answer. And later, the road to 50 continues. And this as a mega national gospel concert was held last night in the capital. Our News Live at 7:30 starts in a moment.
If new, Heineken Silver was a riveting Viking saga.
Last the 12th, your family tortured my first wife and stole my second favorite goat. Now you want to marry my daughter. Okay.
All the taste, no bitter endings. Smooth, fresh, silver.
Welcome to our news and thank you for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. Today is the day the Passport Office began accepting the application of those impacted by the citizenship ruling. Our news stopped at the Passport Office where our Joshua Williams spoke to those waiting in line about the major change. Our Joshua Williams has their reaction.
Operations at the Passport Office appeared to go on as usual as residents stood under a tent waiting in line before this morning's heavy rainfall. Many were unaware of the new protocol change which will affect people whose father is a citizen of the Bahamas and his name appears on the applicant's birth certificate. Yvette John was one of several applicants waiting to be served. John says she personally knows people who will benefit.
I could attest, I know some fathers that are raising their kids that are born Bahamians, and because of that situation, their kids live with them, their mothers are negligent, and they can't get a passport, their kids can't travel, their kids can't do the regular stuff that other kids do. So I agree with it.
While she doesn't fall into this category, Martha Ferguson is in agreement, adding she believes anyone who is a productive citizen should be treated equally.
I think it's a good thing because that's the human side of us. You understand? They're here contributing to the country. However, we're human beings. We have to be human. We can't say we're human beings and we don't have that human side in us.
Rosie-Ann Richmond agrees with the move as well, but shared this concern.
What need to get done is they need to make sure, do research and have a DNA in place to make sure the child belongs to that man. Because, they need them documents. Anybody could could put a child name to a thing. It have to be written. Yeah, it have to be written, but you still have to do a DNA. Having it written on paper doesn't mean you're the father. A DNA.
Crystal Clare, however, disagreed. She says it promotes childbirth out of wedlock.
Given the persons who, okay, I could have baby with Tom, Dick, and Harry because I'm not married, so I could have, baby with this one and that one. So in the Bible, they speaks about you're not supposed to have, sex before marriage. So it's, given man and woman, okay for that. It should be more for those that are married. That's my opinion.
Reporting for our news, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks, Joshua. The Prime Minister instructing the Department of Immigration to crack down on work permit renewals. Dave is telling Parliament today individuals seeking renewals up to 15 years should not be approved, adding that Bahamians should be trained to fill those posts. He also sent this stern message.
This is unacceptable, especially when our database at the Department of Immigration and at the Department of Labor shows that Bahamians are qualified to fill the posts. I've asked the Department of Labor to hold these employees accountable and asked the Department of Immigration to deny renewal applications where we have suitably qualified Bahamians living here or abroad.
That's right.
Because enough is enough.
Yes.
And I'll say no more. Word to the wise is sufficient.
While he accepts that foreigners are needed to fill some roles, he says Bahamians must be put first.
I want to make it clear to employers that in these instances, we expect a Bahamian to understand, to understudy, and be trained for that position. The Department of Immigration, and by extension the government, should not find itself in a position where an employer is asking to renew a work permit after 10 or 15 years.
Parliamentarians getting into a shouting match over the recent unemployment numbers while wrapping up the 2023-2024 budget debate. Prime Minister Philip Davis insisted the unemployment rate is now lower than under the previous administration prior to the pandemic, while East Grand Bahama Member of Parliament Kwesi Thompson did not see it that way.
The unemployment force, the amount of persons who are employed is actually less than the amount of persons who were employed in 2017. So, Madam Speaker, as I said, it is, Madam Speaker, the 8% again is a smoke screen because you have less persons who are employed today than you had back in 2019.
Well, the recent labor force survey revealed that the unemployment rate dropped to 8.8% this year when compared to the 9.8% back in 2019. However, the Prime Minister called Thompson's reasoning disingenuous.
What I'm saying to you is that the unemployment rate, right? It's low. No, you can't tell me. You can't tell me how to present the employment rate, right? Is best in years. Accept that. Now, if you now want to, that's the context I want to put it.
All right, well, sons of the taxi driver who went missing 2 years ago recently got the DNA confirmation that remains found last year belongs to their father, Robert Bethel Sr. In an exclusive sit-down interview with our Marlena Leonard, the brothers share their journey on that road to closure.
Robert Jr., Ryan, and Egan Bethel are the sons of the late Robert Bethel Sr., a taxi driver who went missing back in August of 2021. They recently got DNA confirmation from a U.S. lab that the remains found in a shallow grave in March of last year belonged to their late father.
I figured, okay, now this thing is going to, really take off. But time just went on until it get to the point where we decided, okay, we have to do this ourselves. And when I say you have to do it ourselves, this family, these siblings, we paid to have DNA done. We did that.
Robert Jr. says he was particularly upset by comments early on in the case that made him feel his father's case wasn't initially being taken seriously after it was suggested his dad may have had Alzheimer's.
Look, now they say Alzheimer's? Oh, what? My dad had a better memory than me.
While they say the DNA confirmation brings them a sense of closure, they told me it often felt like the entire investigation was falling on their shoulders.
What we did as a family, we became our own police. Not, subtracting what the police is doing. Every bush on this island, we went through ourselves. It was treated as an urgent matter in the beginning. Hey, you can come down there and do the blood work. And we did all that stuff, and then it just became silent, and it became to me as if it didn't matter.
I reached out to the police who confirmed it was Bethel's body, and while there are few details in the case, the brothers believe their dad was murdered.
The person who ever took my dad's life, listen to me, let me tell you something, man. We forgive you long time. Dad is gone, but you still have an opportunity. So please come forward and give closure if you're involved with any other person, because we now feel better.
And the story doesn't end there. On our way back from our interview with the brothers, Robert Bethel Sr.'s name still flashed across the billboard screen of missing people. For their families, Egan said,
our heart goes out to you, and we just keep the faith, trust in the Lord, that these persons will be brought to justice.
Yes.
And as you too get closure.
Yes.
That's my prayer.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
All right, thanks for that, Marlena. We have much more to get to in a moment, including what to do if a stranger comes knocking at your door in the wee hours. But for now, meteorologist Greg Thompson joins us from the Weather Center with a quick check on the forecast. Greg?
Thanks, Natalia, and welcome everybody for our first quick check on weather conditions outside our studios. Cloudy skies, temperatures in the mid-80s, 85 degrees with a southeast wind at 9 miles per hour, and it's bringing in a tropical moisture that's making it feel like 86. Satellite view and radar composite, showers and thunderstorms spreading across the northwest and central Bahamas. That moisture train and persistent troughing remaining with us, so we could likely to see some more showers and some more thunderstorm activity tonight through tomorrow before things clear up by Wednesday. That's a quick check on weather conditions around the island. Stick with us. Look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, lights out. Hundreds of residents in New Providence impacted by power outages over the weekend. BPL officials are explaining the issue. Plus, stranger danger. Why you should not open your door for strangers. Police say call them right away if you find someone trespassing. And a gospel extravaganza with a huge display of Bahamian talent held on Sunday evening. The details when our news returns. Stay with us. A courier company owner is behind bars awaiting a bail hearing after being accused of smuggling 10 guns and 104 rounds of ammunition into the country. Prosecutors say 42-year-old Rolando Thomas imported the weapons from Florida into the Bahamas on June 20th. The guns were reportedly hidden in a box that also contained groceries and baby goods. Thomas pleaded not guilty to charges of conspiracy to import firearms, conspiracy to import ammunition, importation of firearms, firearm possession with intent to supply, and ammunition possession with intent to supply at his arraignment before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt. Now Thomas returns to court on Wednesday for a bail hearing, and he's been remanded into custody in the interim. Over the past few weeks, doorstep videos have gone viral, leaving many to wonder what to do if they're ever in a similar situation. Well, press liaison officer Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skipping says there are a few steps you can take if someone you don't know shows up at your door. The first step is to not open the door.
You're actually trespassing, to be honest, when you come on somebody's property. But if you know, we have to send a message to these individuals. Listen, technology today is of beneficial use to your law enforcement agency. And those persons who continuously commit crimes, they fail to realize that the world, I should say, has actually moved forward on a springboard now where we're actually, everybody has access to technology, and they're making it a part of their homes. And making it a part of their homes help law enforcement agencies as well. And so I want to encourage homeowners to seek out getting those CCTVs, putting them in place around your homes.
And now that we are in the summer months and school is out, she's telling parents to encourage children to not open the door for strangers and to those who know of those committing crimes.
We're not going to ease up on you. We will continuously come to your home until we get those persons. So the best thing for you to do as an individual is to speak to your child, your son or your daughter, no one is exempted, and let them know they need to go and find a job and work to ascertain the goods that they want. You have to work hard every day for and to purchase what you want. Why should they be able to just come and take what it is that you've worked so hard for?
All right, well, if you've experienced power outages this weekend, Bahamas Power and Light says it's due to challenges with several units at both stations in New Providence. A statement from the power company says the challenges worsened following the unavailability of generation typically provided through a rental agreement. As a result, 60 megawatts of generation was lost in the past few days, resulting in the shortfall and supply interruptions throughout the weekend. BPL says it was able to return a 10 megawatt unit on Sunday afternoon, allowing full restoration at around 8 that night. Another 4 megawatt rental generator was brought into service this morning, and a 15 megawatt generator is expected by the end of the day. Now the power giant says it's working on its primary units that provide 28 megawatts. If successful, that will give BPL 276 megawatts of power to meet the demand on the island.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
The road to 50 continues when our news comes back from the break. Bahamian culture, gospel music, and talent all on display in a National Jubilee Gospel concert.
NFL players
hold a youth camp in New Providence, and a top Bahamian college prospect was there, and Jonquel Jones and the Liberty pull off a close one. Don't go anywhere. Our Sports is coming up next.
More rain showers in the capital today, but the weather has somewhat cleared up. Greg is back with the details when Our News returns.
Today's sports update is sponsored by Michelob Ultra, distributed in the Bahamas by Jimmy's Wines and Spirits.
This is Our News. Welcome back. Almost 200 kids show up at a youth football camp over the weekend, and Jonquel Jones and the Liberty squeak by the Washington Mystics. Here's Tage Adley with a check on sports. Tage?
Thanks, Italia. Hello, good evening. I'm Tage Adley here to bring in the week with some sports. Nearly 200 kids got the opportunity to learn football skills and drills from several NFL players, coaches, and a top Bahamian college recruit. Our Sasha Lightburn was there, and she has this story.
It's very exciting, especially being like one of the few females here. I would just like to encourage more females to come out and play flag football.
Last year, I think I really improved my game, so I'm really excited to work on my game a little bit more.
That was just two of the participants from the Bahamas All-Pro Weekend, hosted by several NFL players, including Bahamian Michael Strawn, Rashad Fenton, and all-star receiver Keenan Allen, among others. The kids did warm-ups with the players and coaches and also engaged in several drills. Leading the quarterback's drill was recently committed Georgia Tech quarterback Graham Knowles. Knowles is the son of Bahamian tennis legend Mark Knowles.
I'm a pretty simple coach. I'm going to get them right. I'm going to get them some good coaching, some good drills, just teach them how to be a good player and how to respond in situations.
Rashad Fenton, who is a cornerback for the Kansas City Chiefs and has Bahamian roots, says he was happy to come back to the Bahamas and participate in the event.
It's an honor to, be a part of this huge event, come back to give back to the community, give back to my roots. Just super excited.
No doubt the draw to the event, San Diego All-Star wide receiver Keenan Allen and the Indianapolis Colts' Bahamian wide receiver Mike Strawn.
When I was growing up, I didn't have a guy like me coming, showing guys what it takes, the type of knowledge you got to have, the type of techniques that you got to have to play this game, and what's going to help you, excel at the league you're playing at right now.
It's just in my heart to always give back, whether it be on the field, off the field. It's just giving is just such a unique thing. I'm so thankful, to see all of these kids out here. They're excited, they're ready to work, and we're ready to have some fun today.
Reporting for Our Sports, I'm Sasha Lightborn.
Jonquel Jones and the New York Liberty played on Sunday afternoon, barely coming out of Barclays with a victory over the Atlanta Dream. Jonquel Jones and the New York Liberty squeaked by the Atlanta Dream 89-88 in an overtime thriller on Sunday afternoon. The teams dueled each other to a 7-8 apiece stalemate at the end of regulation before the Liberty took over on a layup and one from Brianna Stewart, who had 18 points and 6 rebounds. Now, JJ didn't score in this game, but she had 10 rebounds and anchored the team on defense with 1 block and a steal. Sabrina Ionescu had 31 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists to lead the Liberty. Ariel Atkins led Washington with 24 points. Now, this game comes on the heels of a Friday night blowout of the Dream where Jonquel had what was easily her best game of the season, scoring 18 points on only 9 shots while grabbing 9 rebounds and swatting 2 blocks to blow them out 110-80. It seems like JJ is finding her stride. That's all for sports today. I'm Tage Adley.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, the excitement on the road to 50 continues with a gospel explosion in the capital. Plus, Greg is back with the extended weather when Our News returns. Stay with us.
At Doctors Hospital, our lamp just got brighter. The Loyalty Advantage membership program now has 3 unique plans to choose from. From Lamp Prepaid with free crime care visits and service line discounts, Lamp Insured with copay waivers and 0 upfront collections at the ER and inpatient services, or our new Lamp Access, a free plan that offers 10% off labs, pharmacy, and imaging. Lamp has a plan for everyone. To sign up, visit our website or give us a call. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now.
Welcome back to our news. Another day filled with heavy showers in the capital. Hopefully some better weather conditions are to come soon. Greg is back in the Weather Center with more. Greg?
Thanks, Natalia, and welcome back, everybody, for our final look at weather. That moisture plume across our area associated with a mid to upper level trough, still bringing some showers and thunderstorms across our area. We will continue to see that trend through tonight and into tomorrow as the moisture still continues to stay with us. There is a dry slot to the north, so the northern islands expected to see a lessening of some shower activity by tomorrow and into Wednesday, but we do expect some more showers in the forecast. Satellite view showing that rather nicely. Showers and thunderstorms, as I said, across the northwest and central Bahamas. Now waning, but of course, tonight through tomorrow, we expect some more. In the tropics, we are still watching the remnants of Cindy, which is out there. The National Hurricane Center giving that a 30% chance for formation of, well, something tropical, but we're not really going to watch that too much. It's going to undergo some shearing. The remainder of the tropics, a couple of tropical waves out there, and they are going to continue to move towards the west. Future forecast showing the moisture across our area. Showers and thunderstorms tonight to tomorrow, some clearing, and then we're getting a second batch of it by Tuesday, and then into Tuesday afternoon we see some more clearing, and then by Wednesday we're looking for much less shower chances through the rest of the forecast period. Boating forecast, northwest and central Bahamas, southeast to south winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. Low tide will be at 8:53 tonight for the southeast Bahamas. East to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet over the open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your extended forecast, we'll keep showers in the forecast Tuesday and a lessening on Wednesday. And the rest of the week looks pretty nice with temperatures getting back up near the 90-degree mark. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Thanks so much, Greg. Well, as the countdown continues to the road to 50, a 50th National Jubilee concert was held on Sunday evening featuring Bahamian artists at Bahamas Faith Ministries. The Sound of Jubilee National Concert attracting hundreds of Bahamians from across the island. Chair of the Independent Secretariat, Leslie Miller Bryce.
It's a wonderful feeling to know that Bahamians still understand who should be first in our lives and who the glory goes to. You see those performers up there? Amazing, spectacular. They came with their A game. And I'm just here to enjoy the celebration. So it's our 50th, and tonight we're celebrating our King, our Lord and Savior.
Producer Fred Ferguson sharing what went into planning the mega event.
There's a lot of work in the background, that's for sure. It takes a lot of rehearsals and research.
Artist Antonio Thompson putting on a grand performance. He says he's grateful for the opportunity to perform.
Say right time, right place, right season, right door, right opportunity. And it just seems to encapsulate what our nation's looking for. A new sound, the sound of Jubilee in our 50th year.
And these residents shared why they decided to be a part of the event.
I like gospel concerts, and it's the 50th anniversary of the Bahamas, so I come to support.
Well, I was invited by a friend for this gospel explosion, and I anticipate that we will have an awesome time in the Lord, just blessing and praising His holy name.
All right, such a lovely event, and to see that story again, you can visit ournews.bs. And with that, we thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.